Thank you so much for joining us today for the Pastor's Potluck podcast. Here on the Pastor's Potluck, it's similar to a normal potluck where you might get something that you want and there may be something that you just want to pass up altogether. And that's okay. There's something here for everybody. Our goal here is to encourage you and maybe in the process entertain you. If you're ready, let's dig in. Thank you so much once again for joining us for the Pastor's Potluck podcast. We got a good one for you today, but before we get going into our episode, I just want to thank everybody for your continued support and your listening. I ran some numbers recently, and it just kind of blew us away, the amount of people that are watching this or listening to it. So thank you so much. We have a really special episode for you today. This is all about Christmas and nothing but Christmas and maybe traditions and everything else like that. But also, it is your first time on the podcast. What's up, Meghan Beha?
I'm excited to be here.
Are you?
I am. I've never done a podcast before.
I know.
I edit podcasts all the time, but I've never been in one.
Yeah, you edit the sermon podcast.
I do.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
It's a little different. I remember the first one that we did, like with me and Scott, and it's weird because this is episode 11, but we only do like one a week, and so like 11 weeks ago, and it felt like Scott and I didn't even know what to do. Like we were just talking, and it was a good episode. It really was.
They've all been really good.
Yeah, but we continually get better.
Yes.
So
I agree,
which is great. And I can't wait till like we're like on 111, and then we look back on it now and we're like, what?
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to do something so special for our 100th podcast.
I know. Well, we should have did something special for the 10th one, but we had like a really good episode because Scott and I talked about the Bible and the meaning and all of that. But so this episode we're gonna talk about nothing but Christmas stuff.
Yes.
You're like gung ho and pumped about Christmas.
Oh yeah, always.
Now, is it one of the things that you like, it gets like past a certain point in the year and that's the only thing you think about?
Usually, but not until it's got to be like mid-November.
Yeah. Because
I love Halloween too.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually mid-November I get like that. But this year I feel like it came too quick. Like I wasn't ready for it.
It's that way every year. This is what people don't realize. Thanksgiving happens the last Thursday in November.
True.
The turnaround for all your fall decorations to get changed into Christmas decorations is not that much. Mm-hmm. I mean, most people don't hardly do anything the week of Thanksgiving because you've got family in town. Mm-hmm. You're still eating all the turkey and everything else, all your leftovers. And so most people kind of put it off until December 1. Then you've only got 3.5 weeks, 3.5 weeks until Christmas.
Yeah, which is not enough time for all the decorating that goes on.
No.
And like all of the shopping that has to be done and all the things, which I think that kind of is what is so, I don't know, maybe nostalgic. I'm not a very nostalgic person, but that's nostalgic for me. It's like the hustle and bustle and you got to get it done and there's too much to do. And
I don't want to do that.
Somehow I love it. I don't know. No. I don't love wrapping. I like the idea of wrapping, but I hate wrapping.
What is it about wrapping that you don't like?
It hurts my back.
Oh, okay.
I like decorating the wrapped presents, but I don't. It's just too much.
Okay, so I got this thing for Erica, and what it does is, because most people just take their wrapping paper, sit on the floor, bend over, and like non-ergonomical ways, and it just destroys people's backs. And so I got this thing that clips on the edge of a table, right?
Yes.
So it's 2 clips, and one on the left, one on the right, and on the outside of these clips it holds tape. So it holds your tape for the clip. But the clips can be moved inwards or outwards depending on the size of the roll. So you can stand up, and it's a little bit easier for your back. You could just reach across the table, pull it out, to match the size of the gift. Run your scissors. The little clips that are holding the rolls has the tape on the outside.
That sounds like something I need.
Dude, $20 on Amazon. That's what I spent. I think it was $24 or something like that. Worth it.
I need that.
So do you have like any other Christmas like gadgets like that kind of like help you tackle some of your Christmas to-do list, I should say?
My phone. I don't use a lot of gadgets. Okay. So one year, you remember the commercials a long time ago when we were probably like elementary school, and it was like this thing that wrapped around your hand, and because in the commercial, the lady that was wrapping the presents, she needed to have her dog come and help her like put its paw on the wrapping paper so that she could tape it.
I've never seen that commercial.
Okay, for some reason I remember it because it did make me buy this Scotch tape thing that you put around your hand, and you're able to hold the wrapping paper, and then you're also able to grab the tape and then tape it. You don't have to have 17 hands.
I got you.
I don't remember what happened to it, but I really loved that gadget. But that's other than my phone, and I do a lot of online ordering.
Yeah. If you can get somebody else to wrap it, like if you go buy something like at a brick and mortar store, do you pay for like the wrapping, or like, you just go buy something and they'll say, hey, can we wrap this for you?
I did used to do that. The mall actually had a station for a long time, when the mall was happening. And so we would always get Christmas gifts wrapped there. But now I'm super particular. Like, I buy certain wrapping paper to go under certain trees. Yeah. And so if
certain trees,
I have 2 trees. So this year, my one tree is like a champagne gold and charcoal. Okay. Pewter is actually the color. And so the wrapping paper is like a gold. And then also like I bought some black wrapping paper to go with it. Okay. And then underneath our other tree for like our gifts, like Scott and the kids and me.
So you just put fake gifts underneath the other tree?
No, those gifts are for like we have to take to other people's houses.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that way they're separated and I don't have to do that. That was the idea that I had this year. Okay. So I don't do this. I never do anything the same as I do the year before.
Why? Why not?
You just don't. I get bored with the same old stuff. So I always do different things.
One of the things that Erica and I do, and she does all the like the decorating and stuff, and she'll say, hey, I need help with this or whatever, and I'll help her out, obviously. But what we do is we get 3 different types of wrapping paper. Mm-hmm. So one wrapping paper is assigned to each kid. Yeah. And so we just tell them Christmas morning, like this, like the blue one is for you, and the red one is for you, and then the green one is for you. And that way, the whole time kind of leading up to Christmas, like the kids are not sitting there going, oh, like, Nolan got a big one, because, kids freak out. Like, the bigger the present, the better. And it could be like the worst gift in the world. And they're just like, look, I've got this inflatable penguin, and it is just the best. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's just so big and ginormous.
Oh my gosh.
But so we do different wrapping paper. Yeah. So are you and Scott doing like any traveling during the Christmas season?
I mean, if you count going back and forth.
No, I'm like leaving the city.
No. We everybody's here, which is nice, but we haven't done any travel. Well, so a couple years ago, we got gifts for the kids. We took them to Columbus literally the day after Christmas. We took Olivia to the American Girl store, and then we took Landon to the Lego store or whatever, which was a total bust. But we did that one year, but we usually don't go anywhere.
Yeah. I think it would be cool. I don't want to be in New York like closer to Christmas time, but I want to go see like all the stuff that they do.
It's so awesome.
Like, around maybe like a week after they set it up, to where it's not like crazy busy. Yeah. I can still go look at like, I don't want to ice skate, but I want to watch people ice skate because I like to watch people fall. But Yeah, I want to go see the big Christmas tree. I want to go see Times Square. Obviously, like I don't even know if they even decorate it. They probably just. I mean,
They
everything
don't even
is.
have to decorate because there's so many lights.
Well, it's all LED screens now, and so you could just put your decorations on their big TV screens on the side of the building. So, now does Scott like to get involved with the decorating process at your house?
No, not at all. Which I'm okay with because I'm kind of a control freak. If anybody knows me well, they know that. That's why I have 2 Christmas trees, because the one I do want, like my kids make a lot of ornaments. Our kids always make tons of ornaments every year at school or at church or whatever. And so I do want them to feel like their stuff is valued and important. And so I let them hang it on the tree that we put our gifts under. Yeah. And so that's what they did this year. They got to decorate, which I look at that tree literally every day and I'm like,
oh my gosh, this is a hot mess.
Not how I would have decorated this tree.
This tree has a midlife crisis.
Oh, it's having a crisis. All right. But I don't, and then my cat gets in it. And so he's like weighed one of the branches down and it just looks, I don't know. I just can't even think about it. But that's why I have my other tree, because that's the one that like I did let them help decorate it, like put ornaments on it, but there's nothing on it that they got to pick
like
out.
Homemade.
It's mine.
Yeah.
It's my tree. So
kids are funny because like Ryan, she's at that stage where she's making like everything. She makes cards. She's always drawing. She's always cutting up something and pasting it and glue it and painting and markering. And she is like all about like, I mean, you just, if you're not paying attention, like the whole front of the tree will just be covered in like random things. And Olivia's the same age as Ryan.
And she literally does that.
Does
also.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So what are some of your favorite parts about the Christmas holiday that like you just absolutely look forward to?
So my absolute favorite thing is Scott and I started this probably maybe the second year we got married. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess. But we started doing a Christmas date night. Okay. And we go out to dinner somewhere special or somewhere that we usually don't go very often. Mm-hmm. And then we do any like last minute Christmas shopping, which that's usually not the last time we Christmas shop because there's always something we have to get on Christmas Eve. Yeah. But we usually do just Christmas shopping. And this is funny. I actually got this idea from the movie Miracle on 34th Street. Okay. There's like a very small scene in the movie where the mom and the guy that she's like, it's the newer one with, I don't know her name. Anyway, they go on this date and they're walking through the city and they go out to dinner and then they do a little bit of Christmas shopping. And I'm like, there's like some really nice music playing. And I'm like, that just looks really nice. Yeah. It's the only thing I remember about that movie. And so that's what Scott and I do is we go out on a Christmas date and I just really enjoy that. That's something that's the only thing that I make sure happens every single year.
So what kind of restaurants do y'all like to go to, like on this Christmas date? Like something that's completely out of the ordinary?
I mean, I wouldn't say completely like,
it's just like special stuff.
It's just special. Like we used to go to the Block like every year. That's our favorite place. Yeah. This year we're actually going to go to Tidewater because we went there last year and it's a really great restaurant. We enjoy it a lot. Yeah. But yeah, we usually do. It's not anything like too elaborate. It's just nicer than like Fridays or Cracker Barrel or something like that. Gotcha. But yeah, we just do something. We treat ourselves.
Yeah. Now, are there any traditions that y'all are trying to like implement with your kids, with your 2 kids now? Like you know, like we got to do this, just to make it a tradition, just for them, and they kind of begin to look forward to it. Do y'all do like cake decorating or like a gingerbread house or?
Oh my gosh, I hate gingerbread houses.
They're the worst.
They are. They're terrible. You can't even eat them.
No, I mean you can. I mean you just gotta have. Meant to be you eaten. Just gotta have a jaw like Dolph Lundgren. Yeah. I don't know if you know who that is. He's the big tall Russian guy in Rocky IV. But yeah, And you really have to look at it, and you have to talk like him whenever you're about to
Yeah.
eat this. You're like, I must break you.
Yeah.
You know, like with your jaw, because I mean, you leave them out for a day, and they're just like, it's like,
Yeah.
I can prop open a door with this stupid thing.
So we do cookies. Actually, no, take that back. We do bake cookies. But one of the things that we have always done, and I guess I really didn't realize it until just now, but every time, like, you know, before Christmas, when like Christmas season, and then even after Christmas season when it's cold outside, I always make homemade hot chocolate.
Yeah.
And pop popcorn, and we watch a Christmas movie. Now, it's not like this big elaborate event where it has to be on a certain day or whatever. It's just the kids always remember that.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I really tried to like make a thing. It's just, it happened.
Yeah.
I like hot chocolate. I like popcorn. And so when I started making it, the kids just really look forward to it, and they get to help in the kitchen make the hot chocolate. And so that's really what we do. But every year I do different cookies. So they really don't like come to expect like, oh, let's make these certain cookies.
Gotcha.
Or let's do this. It's like,
They
are we
just
going to do
know.
cookies this year? And it's like, yeah. And then I just find a recipe online and we make those cookies. Like one year I made gingerbread cookies. They were really good. They were like, I mean, Paul Hollywood from Great British Bake Off would have been super.
Yeah.
I would have gotten a handshake. But they were really good. This year we did sugar cookies, which we haven't iced them yet. And then we did chocolate chip cookies. So it just really depends. But the hot chocolate and popcorn,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good evening
Yeah.
with a movie for sure. Now, what does Christmas morning look like for y'all?
Well, we wake up in the morning.
What time?
Well, we have breakfast at my parents' house. Usually around like 9, I think.
Do y'all stay at your
And
parents' house for Christmas, like Christmas overnight?
No, we probably wake up, I'd say maybe about like 6-ish. It's just really whenever the kids get up. And they open presents, and then we usually stay in our PJs, and that's just how we are all day long.
Yeah.
Stay in our PJs, go to my parents' house, open presents with them and my sister and her family, and then have breakfast, and then we go to Scott's parents' house and do lunch.
And like after y'all are done with lunch, you just head home and try to just enjoy the rest of the day. And
No. We go back to my parents' house because my aunt and my cousin come in, and we do Christmas with them.
That's a lot.
We do a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
For like a yeah. I'm a big proponent of. I mean, you probably. Yeah. I mean, everybody can guess this. I just want to stay at home. I want. I want to enjoy the time with my family because. I mean, but I don't want to miss out on like the things obviously with my side of the family and then Erica's side of the family. Whenever we do make the trip, but like the day, like Christmas Day, like I'm pretty. I guard that just for me because I want those memories of us just like hanging out for the day and the kids just destroying the house with like wrapping paper and. The boxes for all their toys and everything.
Yeah.
But for us, every single year, Erica says it's the one day a year that the kids are allowed to wake me up. So just because I'm such on a strict regiment with my sleep, and she said it's one day a year that the kids get the pass to wake me up.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that as they get older, the earlier they begin to wake me up. I think last year we woke up at 4:00 in the morning, and we started like our Christmas traditions. Like us as a family, we read through Luke in the story of Jesus's birth and the angel talking to Mary and that whole story, and then we usually ask the kids a question, and they just kind of quickly get through it because they just want to get through.
Yeah.
Get to opening presents, but I mean, I think last year it started at 4:00.
Oh my
in the
gosh.
morning.
Now wait a second though. Do you wake up is it hard for you to sleep that night?
No.
Oh my gosh. It is still so hard for me to sleep Christmas Eve. I feel like a 7-year-old.
Yeah, no, I have zero problems falling asleep.
I even I'm probably up at 4 a.m. And then I'm like, okay, it's too early. I have to come back because the kids aren't even up that early.
Yeah.
Because mine like to sleep in. Even as excited as they are, I don't think that like when it's that late, they realize that it's actually Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And so I think they get up at like 6. That's what I'm going to guess for this year. But the last several years, like Scott and I both, we suck at sleeping on Christmas Eve. Like, we're just so excited because that's how I used to be all the time as a kid. Like, I've never been able to sleep on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It's just exciting for me. I really enjoy Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Oh, I enjoy it too, but like I think I'm in the mindset of I know what is about to happen because, you know, Dad is in charge of putting all the little toys together, screwing things together, putting batteries in this and building whatever they've got and just, you know, and I've got to do that for 3 kids. And so I know in the back of my mind that I need to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it's the craziest thing. Like the kids, like they get up, like the first one that gets up goes around and starts like slapping the other ones. Hey, it's Christmas, you know, slapping them on the head. And then next thing you know, I think it was like the first year, like this hasn't been like always a tradition that they're allowed to wake me up. And so they would just sit outside the door and just like try to like they would make up like their own Christmas songs and just try to hope that they would make enough noise.
Build a snowman?
Dude, it was It's Christmas time and I'm ready to open presents, and it's like sitting outside my door. I'm like, I
like a mashup
that.
between Anna from Frozen and Will Ferrell from Elf.
Dude, for real. Like, I know Santa.
I'm here, and you didn't know about me.
That's funny. Now, we've talked a lot about like positive things and positive experiences around the holidays and what you look forward to. Do you have like any nightmare stories? Like Christmas time and you're like, I don't ever want to do that again. Please don't put me through that. Or maybe something happened and you're like,
Last Christmas, evidently, I did not buy as much as I had thought, which
for
my kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some years, like Scott and I are like, we're just like, is there something that we want?
Yeah.
Then we'll just go out and buy it. But for the kids, of course, you know, we're their parents. We're going to buy them stuff.
Yeah.
And there's just, when they're young like this, because everything right now is so tech, and I feel like kids are playing with things that are way beyond their age.
Yeah.
Just because what else is there? And so last
whenever
year,
we were growing up, I mean, the hot thing on the street was like if you had like a tether ball.
Yeah, like it
if
was.
You had a pole in your yard
toys.
with like the volleyball with like the string on it. Like that was like the greatest thing.
I truly remember literally like most of the things that I wanted came from movies. Like my favorite toy I ever got for Christmas was called a Girl Talk. And it was the thing that Kevin McAllister used in Home Alone.
That was the girl version. That was the pink version of it.
Yes, and it was amazing.
The funny thing is I almost just said Talk Boy because I remember my brother, because that's what it was called. Like the silver one that he actually used is called a Talk Boy. And then they had like a girl version of it called the Girl Talk or whatever it was. I wasn't a girl, so I didn't get the girl one.
Yeah.
But we had the Talk Boy.
It was literally amazing.
It was the best.
But that's where I got my toys, was from movies. And now I feel like that's not a thing anymore. Kids don't have like I mean, for my kids, toys are a nice thought, but they don't play with them.
No, they would rather the
tablets
iPad,
or the PlayStation or phone. Like my kids want phones, and I'm like, you're 8.
Yeah.
No.
Ain't happening.
And so anyway, last year, I think I didn't realize, but I was at a loss for what to get them because I'm like, I'm not getting you toys. You don't play with them. But I'm also, there's nothing to get you because like, what do I get you?
Yeah.
And so I didn't buy a lot last year. And so they were like they finished opening gifts like super quick.
Yeah.
And Scott was like, Megan, what else did you buy? And I'm like, I guess nothing. And so this year we're like trying to make up for it because we didn't buy a whole lot last year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're just trying to forget last year happened.
No, dude, your justification is that y'all bought a new house.
Yes.
That's what I would say.
Yes, we bought a new house.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've been there in the same boat. Like, I'm not gonna like, because you get like the toy catalog, and then you sit each kid down with like a pen. You circle it, write your name to the right of it or whatever, and let us know what you want. But then they go through and they pick all this stuff. Like, you're like, you are not going to play with this. You have an iPad. You play Roblox and Minecraft on your tablet. Like, there's nothing else that you're going to be able to do. So we get them, like, clothes, like some things that they would want to wear. We get a couple of books, because they read, especially Luke. He's my reader. He likes to learn about new stuff.
Yeah.
Or like it'll be like stuff that you can hang up in their room, or they have to build, and it's like a one-time thing. Like one year we got Luke a model of the Titanic because he was infatuated with like the Titanic.
That's my boy right there.
And not the movie, just like the events.
I was obsessed.
Yeah.
With Titanic. I remember one year I got all kinds of Titanic stuff.
Dude, yeah, they like that was the year like he got like a Titanic t-shirt, and it was
yeah. Every family has
weird.
that one kid. Olivia is that one kid for me.
Yeah.
She's obsessed with Harry Potter right now.
Well, Luke is it's weird because Luke is obsessed with like things in history that are disastrous.
Because they're pretty epic.
Yeah, it could just there's just a little bit of cause for concern. Like right now, he's really into the Hindenburg tragedy. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
You don't know what the Hindenburg is? It's that big giant blimp that caught fire and it fell out of the sky and it had all those people in it.
Nope.
It was goodness, I don't even know what event. I think it was just like, hey, we're flying the Hindenburg. It was this big giant airship blimp or whatever. And it was filled with like this crazy gas, and it just caught fire like as it was trying to land.
When did this happen?
Like the early 1900s.
Okay, so this was before I was born.
Yeah, I want to say it was like before the Titanic.
Yeah.
It was around that same time.
Anything before the Titanic, I don't remember.
Like World War I-ish. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously you don't remember, but yeah, it's just I don't know what it is about like the natural disaster, or like not the natural disasters, but just disastrous moments in history.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, can I get like a Hindenburg t-shirt? I'm like, no, because like if you go back and look at pictures of the Hindenburg, it's got like a big swastika on it and stuff, because it was from Germany, and it was like Germany's like show of power. Like, hey, we've got this big giant thing. And this is before the events of World War II. So
probably not a good idea.
No.
But hey,
I'm trying to keep
innocent.
I'm trying to keep him as innocent as I can, and allow him to learn these things
for sure.
But yeah, can't get him like a model Hindenburg and or a T-shirt or something like that. So now, do you like holiday movies?
Yes, I do. Not cheesy ones though.
Not cheesy ones.
No.
It's like define cheesy ones.
Okay, I'm gonna hurt a lot of feelings. Actually, I'm not, because I have not given Hallmark movies a fair shake because we haven't had cable for a long time. I mean, probably since the kids were born, we haven't had cable.
Yeah.
And so I have never actually watched a Hallmark Christmas movie. But I know the concept and the basic idea of all of them. City girl meets country guy. They fall in love. But I'm trying to think of like some like Netflix, like all the streaming channels, they usually have some really, really cheesy, like stupid Christmas movies on there.
Hallmark-esque. Yeah.
Well, almost like I would venture to say worse. Because it's like people you've never even seen or heard of.
Hallmark.
And listen, there are people on Hallmark movies that I know.
No, they're trying to save their careers by doing Hallmark movies.
Well, that's probably accurate. Except for Candace Cameron Bure. She's pretty, like,
yeah, well,
she does a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, she's all over the place.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, like, people like Jessica Simpson's sister.
Is she on one?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of, like, somebody that's trying to stay relevant.
Ashley Simpson was her name.
Ashley Simpson. I'm just trying to think of somebody that would need to stay or feel the need to stay relevant.
Yeah,
and
true.
so they're going to do something like a Hallmark Christmas movie.
But I actually really enjoy not like super old Christmas movies, but ones that I watched when I was younger with my family.
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation is actually my favorite Christmas movie ever. And
a little bit louder for the people in the back.
Christmas Vacation is my favorite Christmas movie ever.
Yeah.
I like Polar Express too. My kids hate it. I love it. I think it's great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like I like major films like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not big on like the ones that are just advertised like with a little picture on Netflix or something like that. But now Olivia really is into the what is it? The Christmas Prince on Netflix. There's a series of those movies and they're really good.
Okay.
But just major films that you've actually heard of, like The New Grinch. That one's my favorite too. So ones that people have actually heard of.
Yeah. Now you said you like the Polar Express. Now this is a would you rather question. Would you rather take a ride on the Polar Express or would you rather take a ride on Santa's sleigh? If
Polar
Santa
Express.
was real, or if both of them were real. I think you could do like a Polar Express, but it's not like the movie.
100% Polar Express.
Yeah.
Because
I think that would be my answer.
You get hot
too.
chocolate.
For sure.
And I've never ridden in a train before.
What?
Yes. I
Dude,
want to ride in
yeah.
a train.
It's
Never done it.
I mean, it's everything that you would expect a train to be. I mean, you know, some of them are real rickety. Now they have like the real nice like passenger travel trains that like go all over the country that are like well equipped, but
Now here's my expectation of what a train should be. The Polar Express.
yeah.
The train on Hunger Games. Or what was the other one? I can't remember what it was. I had it in my mind. But yeah, or the one on Harry Potter.
Yeah.
The Hogwarts Express. Those are the expectation that I have of riding on a train. And I'm sure that that's not the way that it's going to be.
So I'm going to be thoroughly let down.
That's usually the way that my life works is I have these like big expectations of things.
Yeah, it's like the first time like you eat snow. You're like, oh, this is going to taste magical. And it's going to be like ice cream or cotton candy. And you put it in your mouth and it's real gritty. And it just tastes like frozen water because that's just what it is. And it's got dirt in it. And
used to love eating snow. I used to eat snow all the time.
Yeah, you're going to be let down for sure.
But if I really enjoyed snow, then maybe I'll enjoy a train ride, and even if it's not like
you're
Hogwarts.
You see, here's the thing: you're older and more opinionated.
I know. We'll see.
Oh, that's so good. So if you had to pick a favorite holiday movie, which would be your favorite? Getting back on track.
Gosh, Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
100%.
Because you said a couple of them were your favorite.
It is. Well, that's my word. I say favorite to a lot of things. Christmas Vacation, I have to, like, that's the one movie that I make sure that I watch every year.
Yeah. Now, do you watch all the, like, crazy sequels and stuff like that?
The only sequel movie that I watch is Home Alone, and I only watch 1 and 2.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the other one is, what's the other one that has the sequel? Oh, Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah, with Tim
Allen. The
Allen.
first and second one. The third one is dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty good. Some movies don't age well. And for me, the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen haven't aged well. Because he's got this big, ginormous, like, brick for a cell phone. And it's got, like, the little flip. And you pull out the antenna.
That's what's so nice about it.
No, it's not.
Yes. Because okay. I've said I wasn't big on, like, nostalgic things. But I guess in some sense, I am with like movies.
Yeah, no.
Because it's Santa Claus.
I know, I understand that, but
It's
that's
the
like
Santa
whenever they were
Claus.
inventing cell phones, and so they probably made.
So tell me that you watch Saved by the Bell.
No, I don't go back
What?
and watch. I've seen it. I've watched a lot of it.
What?
I grew up watching it, but I don't go back
Now,
and
I
watch.
tell you right now, I don't watch the new Saved by the Bell. They have a new.
Did they do a new
Oh,
one?
they redid it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But I will go back and rewatch Saved by the Bell episodes.
Yeah.
As old as they are.
I feel like that there's certain things that they should not redo. Like Home Alone is one of them. Like I know that they're redoing like
never.
the TV. They did like a Disney Plus TV series with like Home Alone, and it's like a British kid.
Okay, I'm going to have to try it out because I love the British accent.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
But I feel like they should have just left that alone. I feel like the original Saved by the Bell shouldn't have been.
No.
We don't need a revamp or redo.
No.
And now they just recently announced that they're redoing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But it's more of like a drama.
Not
it's
into
not like
that.
a sitcom.
Nope.
That's weird.
I won't do it.
I mean, I think the charm of
Will
that
Smith
was Will Smith.
You can't
Well, just the
remake Will Smith.
just the interactions between Will Smith and Carlton. It was the best, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And how do you recreate that type of magic? And so, like
That's what I'm saying is there is something about the originals that if you try to remake them for now,
yeah,
no,
you can't do it.
no.
I think original ideas, just to begin with, are going to be a lot better. Like anytime somebody's like rehashed or redone or redid anything like that, it's just always been terrible.
And when you don't include the original characters,
yeah. Well, see, the problem is that anytime they do like a redo, they always like the original character always has to make like a cameo, and then that just kind of ruins it.
that's what I hate about Fuller House.
Yeah.
We're getting into too many things about TV, but that's what I hate about remakes
Yeah.
or like spinoffs. Is you're trying to like bring it back and it's not the same.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Yeah. They would just be like Will Smith, like what is he gonna play? Like the mailman? Like come up and knock on the door and just be like, here's your mail, and then people kind of go nuts for a little bit and he's like, all right, see you later.
He would play the uncle.
Uncle Phil?
He would have to play Uncle Phil. Only it would be Uncle Will.
Stop that.
Ah,
Stop that.
That's pretty good.
Stop that. We're trying to be a professional podcast here.
I am not professional at all.
All right. So this is probably the one thing that I've been looking forward to ever since we sat down and tried to put things together for this episode, was the mystery meat segment of this holiday Christmas themed episode of the Pastor's Potluck podcast. I've been kind of telling everybody, I'm like, I'm not going to tell y'all what this is, but I'm really looking forward to the mystery meat. All right. So here is the question. It is a would you rather question. Would you rather be average height but have to live in an elf home, like in Elf the movie, like in the beginning? Or would you rather be elf height and live in like a normal size home?
I would rather be elf height and live in a normal size home because...
With like everybody else being like ginormous around you. Okay.
Because one, that means that people would hold you and you wouldn't have to walk anywhere. And
oh my gosh,
you can also, as a kid, I remember like if I was too short for getting a cup out of a cabinet, I would just climb everything.
Yeah.
And so I have the capability to do that. And people would hold me. Like people would carry me everywhere. Is that the direction you thought that was going to go?
Not the carrying part.
I mean, it's definitely like that's accurate. People would.
Now, what's the average height of an elf? I think that's something that we have to clarify, because if you're like 4 foot, people are not carrying you. If you're the size
I don't
of
know.
like, if you're the size of like Esme, Pastor Cheryl's daughter, but you're like an adult and you're not growing anymore.
I mean, it really just depends on what movie you watch, because the height comparison in Elf, the movie Elf, to like of Will Ferrell to the Santa's elves.
Like, I think the top of their head went up to like his waist.
Yeah. So that's like I don't know. I would say that's probably
I don't know that people would carry you.
Landon's height, which I can't carry Landon. He's
Yeah,
like a brick house.
I don't know that people would carry you. They would look at you and they would see that you are a full-grown adult, and you're going to walk your legs to wherever you need to be.
They're going to carry me. But also,
that's a terrible assumption.
Me being Will Ferrell's height in Santa's elf's size home, I'd have back pain. I'd have back issues.
Yeah.
And I have back issues right now, and so I'm not about that life.
Yeah. I think that's the right answer. I think you're jumping to conclusions about people carrying you.
I would make people feel.
Can you imagine
like
if Scott had to like pick you up to get up on stage every Sunday to sing with us?
That would be weird. But okay, so I guess I wouldn't need carried anywhere because I can walk, but it would just be a nice thought.
I mean, if you had to pick.
Because anytime I have to pick my kids up, I'm like, man, I really didn't appreciate those times as a kid when I was carried.
Yeah.
I don't think I was old enough to realize that or, understand that I was being carried, but.
Yeah. I don't want either of them. I just thought it would be a funny mystery meat segment.
Well, what if I said I didn't want either?
Well, I didn't give you the option. That's not the point of this segment. The segment is to totally catch you off guard, and you have to answer the question as random as it's going to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to end this amazing segment, because I'm sure you're going to say that, but I thought I would let you guys know that I have a few, since we talked about Christmas things and a little bit of Christmas cooking and Christmas food. I have a few recipes that I'm going to include in the post on Facebook and then also in the podcast that it's just like a little link that people can click on and it takes them to some recipes they can print out.
Yeah, just send it to me and I'll put it in the description for sure. What kind of recipes are they?
Well, there's one for if you're a traditional style cooker?
Chef,
cooker. What? Listen, I've only had one cup of coffee today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
If you do turkey on Christmas, I have a really great turkey recipe. You have to brine it. Yeah. It's delicious though. And then also a couple cookie recipes that are like no fail. You can't mess them up. And also a couple of my like tweaks.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's it.
Yeah, for sure. What would you recommend if somebody had to make only one thing out of those recipes?
One thing. Gosh. Because now
we're trying to sell people on the idea to go look at these recipes. So you got to sell it. Got to give me something.
So I would recommend, I am going to be including, it's a no chill sugar cookie recipe.
No chill. Like no wait time in the fridge. You
don't have to put it in the fridge because like sugar cookie dough, you usually have to let it chill. Otherwise it gets too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did this recipe last year and my mom was shocked. She was like, I hate Christmas or sugar cookies because you have to put them in the refrigerator. And then if you mess with it too much, you have to put it back in the fridge, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, I actually didn't have to put this in the fridge. And they were perfect.
Really?
Perfect.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. And then, I mean, my chocolate chip cookies are amazing.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself.
Well, sweet deal. Well, I'm looking forward to looking at those recipes. So now that we're at the end of your very first podcast, how was it?
Amazing.
It goes by fast though, right?
It does. It really does. I had so many notes in my phone that I was going to like talk about.
Well, you didn't even bring them out.
I didn't because I always forget.
What do
about
you like?
things.
What kind of notes do you have?
Not anything.
You should have sent them to me. So I could have asked you.
It was just like
not crazy things. Look at the size of that note.
Okay, so let's okay. Anyway, I also make chicken noodle soup every Christmas Eve because that's
Okay.
what we do with Scott's family. We do soup and sandwiches. So I'm going to include my chicken noodle soup recipe too because it's super easy and I make it for people when they're sick. I make it when it's cold outside all the time. It's easy and it is so good.
That falls underneath the Christmas traditions that we were supposed to talk about earlier.
It does. Well, listen. So, but that's not like... Here's the deal. My kids really aren't into, like, my kids like grilled cheese, and that's about the extent of it. They never eat, like, the soups. So that was something that Scott's dad's family did when he was little, and so that's something that they did as a family, and that's a tradition they brought into our family, which is great. I mean, it's super simple. We don't have to do a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
But because of that tradition, I developed my own chicken noodle soup recipe.
All right.
And so this one is kind of
so
special.
you'll include it in the recipe link.
Yes. All
righty.
Oh my gosh, okay. Never mind. We're going to have to.
What else do you have?
Oh
I mean,
my
look at
gosh.
the size of it.
Listen, you guys. Okay. Well, no, we've talked about a lot of these things. I'm going to listen. Okay.
You have a lot of recipes in there.
No, just 6.
Just 6. Oh my gosh.
No, 5, I think. Well, because they're recipes from different elements of our Christmas celebration. So like
Gotcha.
Christmas Eve brunch, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day breakfast, Christmas dinner.
What are you, a hobbit? Like, we have second breakfast and lunch.
Listen,
and what about afternoon tea?
Christmas Eve brunch is the best because everybody like brings a little something, and I always bring the same something every year. And it's super, like, everything that I do is really, now, like, everything that I do every year is really easy because it's something that I can remember.
Yeah.
But every year, like last year, I did desserts for Christmas dinner instead of, like, providing a side dish or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I did desserts. And so I wanted to go all out, and I went all out. I'll never make those desserts again. But they were amazing.
Why would you not make them again if they were amazing?
Because I want to do something different.
Oh. I'm a sucker for tradition.
I am not. I like to do new things.
Yeah. Not me. It's just it's out of my control.
Let me know. Do you like to do the same old thing? Oh, that sounds really bad. Do you like to do the same thing every year? Or do you like to do new things because you get bored like me?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's all I have.
Well, I do. I've enjoyed this conversation. It's just awesome just to kind of reflect and talk about Christmas and traditions and everything else that we have going on. But just for everybody that is watching and listening, from the bottom of our hearts here at Southridge Church, we want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas. And we hope that y'all have a wonderful time spending time with your friends and family.
Yes. Yes, we do.
And if you don't have anything to do, get a hold of me. You can come and hang out at my house for a little bit. I do leave on the 26th, but that's about it.
And we have a lot of different events that you can come to with us. So from Christmas Eve brunch all the way to Christmas dinner number 2.
Yeah. What? Christmas dinner number?
Oh my gosh, we have a lot, so just leave it.
That's why I asked if you were like a hobbit. Do you remember that part in Lord of the Rings?
I don't watch Lord of the Rings. Another episode.
So that concludes our episode of the Pastor's Potluck Podcast Christmas episode. Thank you so much for listening in with us today. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram. You can also watch the video version of this on YouTube as well. All you have to do is search up the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. From all of us here, we want to say thank you, and we'll see you next week.